one, and a Lapsang Souchong for one. Yeah, but it's
Long weekend and bank holiday